But I'll contrast that to the two coaches, or I'll compare that to the two coaches of Bill Belichick and Dan Quinn, because when I look at these two coaches, they have a ton in common. They are remarkably similar coaches that are remarkably different people. These are two coaches, two defensive geniuses, two schematically defensive geniuses. I don't think you can call them anything less. These are two GMs. Bill Belichick is the literal GM of the Patriots. Dan Quinn does not hold the title GM. Dan Quinn is the GM of the Falcons. He tells Thomas Dimitroff what to do. Thomas Dimitroff does it. You know? Like Deion Jones, Keanu Neal, those are not Arthur Blank guys. Arthur Blank is really an offensive guy. And notably to mention, Thomas Dimitroff worked under Bill Belichick. You know?
Oh, we've done research on that.
Thomas Dimitroff was a student of Bill Belichick who was the GM, hired by the Falcons, and now basically works for Dan Quinn. Between the two of them, Dan Quinn and Bill Belichick, they have 12 Super Bowl appearances, 9 of which are Bill Belichick's, 3 of which are Dan Quinn's. But
still significant.
It's very significant, especially because Dan Quinn's 3 Super Bowl appearances are in the last 4 years. You know, like he is actually fairly new to the NFL coaching. What that means to me, and who else is there to consider in this? To me, Dan Quinn is the best young defensive coach in the NFL. Am I missing someone in that? The best defense of the last 5 years has been the Seahawks. But coaches that have, Todd Bowles has not worked out very well.
You kept out the Broncos in that one, but
who's been running the Broncos defense? Was it Kubiak was an offensive guy, wasn't he? No. That's the thing is that remember the Broncos are a talented that's a defense run on talent. Where Dan Quinn made it work on either side. Tons of talent in Seattle, young talent in Atlanta. It's worked out. And then I can contrast that with these two. These two coaches have a ton in common in terms of their resumes. Remarkably different in terms of their ideologies, in terms of who they are. I will start with Skulls in the Closet. Come on in. Skulls in the Closet. Dan Quinn. I'm not joking. I have looked into this. Dan Quinn, 0 skulls. Nothing to be shown.
You got that right.
Yeah, our other roommate Alex is in that building now. But Dan Quinn, do you know of anything that could be wrong with Dan Quinn?
He looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay, there you go. Bill Belichick. Can you name any skulls in the closet for Bill Belichick? He's got a few. I will start with the fact that he was videotaping practices of other teams, such as Been Forgiven, not by Marshall Falk, but by most. It's been forgiven that he was videotaping the teams. They de-inflated the footballs. Was that a big deal? No. But then it got turned into a big deal. As far as his love life,
oh my goodness,
Alex found out a good bit of information. Alex was
right.
He's been hooking up after he got divorced. He started hooking up with the Giants' secretary, though she was a married woman.
He was a married man.
Was it? No, I thought he just got divorced.
Yeah. No. Okay, all right. No, you're jumping to the 2000s. Now, I want to talk about when he worked for the Giants.
He worked for the Giants, of course, yeah.
He worked for the Giants at a time when that woman also worked for the Giants, and he was a married man and she was a married woman.
Likely his
Belichick sounds like a Catholic name to me, doesn't it to you?
Yeah.
Now, I know that man believes in no God, but he had some point taken some sort of vow of the Catholic Church. Now, they have a lot of guilt on them, the Catholic people. Bill Belichick feels no guilt. That means to me that he is a godless man.
I think that was apparent, but I'll contrast that. Point is, Bill Belichick, lots of skulls, in the closet, but I'll take that down to their work environments. The Falcons have said this repeatedly, over and over, and if you're in Atlanta, you've heard it over and over. It's really important to the team. That's the thing is, I don't want to de-escalate or de-emphasize the importance that this has. This is important to the team. That's why it's become important to the people, is because in every interview, the Falcons have brought this up. The word brotherhood. I got a chance for him to brothership when Dan Quinn mispronounced it, because that's kind of guy he is.
Keep that
But
I think you keep that.
That's their organizational motto. Brotherhood. They say brotherhood over and over. They play for each other. That is the team's view of it. I'm not making this up. I'm a Falcons fan, so I don't want to act like I'm unbiased in it. But that is because I thought it sounded stupid. I thought it was annoying when they said brotherhood. I'm like, I'm not a part of that. I'm a fan. Tell me something cooler. But that's what they live by is brotherhood. That is their actual organizational motto.
Something cooler.
Yeah. Well,
Rise Up isn't that cool.
Yeah, no, you're right.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Let me contrast that to the Patriots' organizational motto. Do your job.
Well, that sounds so run-of.
I'm not joking. I didn't make this up. The Patriots put that on it. They put that on T-shirts. Is do your job. That's their think about like the just the aspect of like you've worked at. And I don't know if you have it when we're fraternity brothers, like we have, experience like the standards of like what brotherhood means is, doing things for the people that you're around, the people that you view as your brothers, putting, them, helping them in all cases and working together towards an organizational goal. Contrast that with do your job. There is an organizational goal. Help us get to that. And that's the like.
It just sounds like a conspiracy.
Sure.
Do your part.
Like as we were saying before, how that completely just describes the difference between generations.
Yeah, exactly.
With Dan Quinn running a younger, more millennial.
Exactly. The Falcons
team.
are a millennial team. The Patriots with 39-year-olds, Tom Brady, and 28-year-olds, Dante Hightower.
He's a millennial, but
technically
he's been around all the old
The
guys.
point is that the Falcons, 7 players in the first 2 years on defense. The oldest players, Dwight Freeney, who I think is 35, Matt Ryan's 31. I don't know how old Alex Mack and it's still a young offensive line. And Jonathan Babineau, who I think is 35 as well. But only a few players over 30. The Falcons are a young team, especially on defense, which is Dan Quinn's specialty. Is that this is a young, fast team, made up of millennials, and the organizational motto is built around that. That's what they're built for. And again, I want to stress this is that the brotherhood versus do your job thing. You make what you want of the organizational motto of maybe the Patriots do this because they have older players. Falcons do it because they have younger players. No, Bill Belichick has been at this for 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
He believes in do your job. And if you think Bill Belichick cares about those players, you're sorely mistaken. But these are different players all throughout. Bill Belichick has an organizational strategy. He does not care about his players. He will send them to Cleveland at the drop of a hat. He does not care about the people that do it for him. He did not care about Randy Moss. He did not care about Wes Welker. They let him go the second he asked for more money. Bill Belichick takes whoever will do the job, and I genuinely believe that Atlanta operates differently. I genuinely believe that Atlanta operates on a system of doing this as a team, doing this as a group of men who work together for an organizational goal. And to round that up is to say that what does this championship mean? Falcons and the Patriots playing each other for a championship. Representing a city, mind you, of obnoxious fans in either direction. Although I don't think Atlanta is super obnoxious fans. New England, I think it is. I'm biased, but yeah. Well, they've had 15 years to grow their fan base, I guess. But let's look at and I have some things written down about what a championship means for the Patriots, who have won 4 championships already. This is their 7th appearance in the Super Bowl. What would winning Super Bowl 51 mean to them? It would mean a giant middle finger to Roger Goodell. That's the main thing that I hear from Patriots fans. Is, just a good way to tell Roger Goodell that, he was wrong, that he sucks. He can eat a dick. It would mean that Tom Brady is the best quarterback ever. I already think that, but, like, they're worried that someone else might not think that. It means that the Patriots are maybe the best dynasty, in NFL history. And I think that the biggest thing, what this means to the Patriots, is that they met expectations.
No, I agree.
The beginning of 2016 NFL season, who did the majority of people pick? I don't have the facts on this, but I would be willing to bet the New England Patriots. What did everyone expect to happen? I expected this to happen. I expected nothing less that the Patriots would win the AFC. And if you win the AFC, you got a 50% chance of the Super Bowl at minimum. The Patriots are doing this so that they're not a disappointment. If the Patriots lose, they're a massive disappointment. Anytime the Patriots don't lose, they're a disappointment. But I think it's worse because the Patriots lose in the AFC Championship sometimes. That's annoying. That sucks. When you lose in the Super Bowl, it's heartbreaking. I think that's more. I think the Patriots fans are more upset when the Patriots lose in the Super Bowl than when they lose in the playoffs.
I agree. Much with anything that you've made it this far.
Yeah,
you've gotten past all.
I wouldn't know. Yeah,
yeah. I only know one time, and
But no. But with the Falcons, I will say as a Falcons fan, this team cannot fail my expectations. They are far beyond my greatest expectation. I remember at the beginning of the year, so I looked at the schedule and I saw Denver, I saw Carolina twice, I saw Kansas City. I was thinking of Alex Smith, but I saw Seattle. I saw a bunch of really good teams along with what I thought was going to be a really tough division with Tampa Bay and New Orleans as well. And someone asked me what do you think the Falcons are going to win? And I said 8-8 at best. I hope to match this year, and they have far and away exceeded that. They've been unbelievable. But what this championship means for Atlanta compared to a middle finger to Goodell, making him the best quarterback ever, ensuring a new legacy, and meeting expectations. For the Falcons, it means giving a city its first championship in 21 years. I'm 21 years old. Its second championship in 51 years. There have been sports in Atlanta since 1966. We have one championship. I missed it by 1 month. I was born a month after.
I was born 4 months before.
Yeah.
4 months
Atlanta,
old just cheering.
And that's the thing is that for the fans of Atlanta, and there's others from the perspective of the Falcons of it makes Matt Ryan, I think likely a Hall of Famer. Not a guaranteed Hall of Famer, but a very likely Hall of Famer. It makes Atlanta a legitimate sports town, etc. I'm not going to really get into all that. But the difference to me is that New England expects a championship. The region of New England has not won a championship this year. Do you think they're upset about that? Red Sox, the Celtics, they didn't win anything. New England needs to win something, and they're going to be annoyed if they don't.
Do you not think the area is pretentious enough without the championship?
No, I think that's fair. That's fair. They're very, highly education belt, etc. But what I just wrote is that New England expects a championship. Atlanta is starved for a championship. Atlanta has nothing. In my lifetime and in the lifetime of 50-year-old man, they have one championship. Atlanta not only deserves it more, Atlanta has been through far and away much more. As far as the ideology of the coaching staff, as far as the expectations of the fans, as far as the estrangements of the players, I think Atlanta is already the preferred team. For the sake of if I wasn't a Falcons fan, I would just conclude this by saying, for the sake of good versus evil, I hope the Falcons win.